Good morning, Vande Matram. Welcome all of you. The aim of spiritual life. That is the topic of discussion for this session. The aim of spiritual life. We have our two types of life we are comparing from mother. The aim of ordinary life and the aim of spiritual life. Ordinarily, in ordinary mental setup, normally we live. And so far, the spiritual life is concerned, some people, selected people like you who are standing and attending, and of course, many, maybe their number is not that much vast as the ordinary lived people. Anyway, the topic to be discussed is on the aim of spiritual life. Aim of spiritual life is to realize the divine. Very interestingly, still very small way you can take, but this it seems very small, but actually it has got the very deeper and greater meaning, really in-depth meaning it has. To realize the divine, that is not an easy word as we say express that it is the aim, not like this, but on contrary, when you go and analyze the ordinary aim of ordinary life, to carry out one's duty, it is intended towards your roti, kapda and makan. That is what the whole gospel of this discussion, that is the whole story. People who are living in the ordinary life with the ordinary consciousness, living in the ordinary atmosphere, environment, their duty is to carry out their one's own duty. My family, me, my business, my job, everything related to them. Carry out one's duty, but so far the aim of spiritual life is concerned, it is something very deep, very, profound, very vast. To realize the divine. If somebody is not aware of this term, realization, divine, and all, they can also feel, okay, what is that? What is that divine? What is that realization? People will not be able to understand really what really this is meant. But the thing is that way, because that's why these people are in the ordinary consciousness, and you are in the spiritual line. Your purpose and their expectation is totally contradictory and varies. It varies. Choice varies. The aim of spiritual life is to realize the divine. That is what. That's what Sri Aurobindo quoted. Don't get confused. A divine life upon the earth, the ideal we have placed before us, that is what it is strictly. It has been prefixed. You can't deviate. Even if you want, you can't escape from that track. A divine life upon earth, the ideal we have placed before us, can only come about by the spiritual change of our being, not in the ordinary way. By the spiritual change of our being, and a radical and fundamental change, not only the ordinary change. Radical and fundamental change, an evolution or a revolution of our nature. We don't think that it seems silly. That's what Sri Aurobindo wanted to quote. You have kept before us, before you, a divine life upon earth. The ideal we have placed before us can only come about by a spiritual change of our being. Spiritual change. Second, radical and fundamental change. Third, evolution or revolution of our nature. That is the thing. Not very easy. That's what Sri Aurobindo mother could try to sum up. The aim of ordinary life is to carry out one's duty, business, job, family, so and so, etc., etc. But the aim of spiritual life is only one thing: to realize the divine. Again, mother goes forward. It is the spirit, the spiritual consciousness, and the divine presence that give life all the value. All the value. We are ambitious. We have our ambition. In ordinary life, you can find the ambition, pride, expectation, many ways, in many terms, many varieties we can get. But it is the spirit, the spiritual consciousness, and the divine presence that gives value to the life. That gives value to the life. But we feel, suppose I am a very tasked people. I have got my good business, I have got my reputation, I am a MLA, MP or minister on that way. That is actually one superficially satisfying remarks. It is the spirit, number one. Number two, spiritual consciousness, and number three is a divine presence that give value, give life all its value. Without the spiritual consciousness and a divine presence, a life has no value. That's what you have to do. If you want to be valued and if you want to provide life some value, three things you must have. Those three things can supply: spirit, spiritual consciousness, and the divine presence that give all life the real value, all its value. And if this the absence of which, without the spiritual consciousness and the divine presence, life has no value. That's what you have to know. So far, spiritualism and the spiritual track is concerned. Again, mother quotes. This means that from the point of view of the truth of things, a man who has no material possession, mother quotes tries to explain, no material possession, no remarkable capacity or possibility, but conscious of the psychic being, united with the divine in him, is infinitely greater than the ruler of the earth or the millionaire possessing considerable material power, but unconscious of his psychic chains. That is what. Very great thing. Three formats mother tried to open everything before us very interestingly. Mother quotes. From the point of view of the truth of things, two types of people that they are people who are having some material possession, material gainers, they are having so many material dignity. And second, people who are having may not be having anything, they don't possess anything, but only they have they know they are conscious of the psychic being and united with the divine. They are far, far, far better than greater and wider than the ruler of the earth or even a millionaire possessing considerable matter power, but unconscious of the psychic being. That's what I want to quote again. The truth. From the view of the truth of things, a man who has no material possession, no remarkable capacity or possibility, but conscious of the psychic being and united with the divine, nothing materially, nothing, but conscious of the psychic being and united with the divine in him, is infinitely greater than the ruler of the earth or millionaire possessing the considerable material power, but they don't have they are unconscious of the psychic being. Millionaire, ruler of the earth, but not knowing the psychic being, they are quite inferior than the people, those, even if they don't have the material capacity, but know the psychic being and know united with the divine, they are far, far, far greater than this category. So people I will try to explain it again. Some people are there. They are having some material possession, maybe ruler of earth or having the millions they possess, but they are not aware of the psychic being. Second category people who are having nothing, maybe rikta, devoid of all, no material gain, material possession with them, but they are united with the divine and they are aware of the psychic being. These people, the second category, is far better and far greater than the first one. That's what mother tried to explain. So beings come conscious of the psychic being and get united with the divine, that gives value, that adds value to the life. From the point of view of truth, again, from the point of view of the truth, again, mother quotes. Things apparent and external have no true value. Whatever is being seen, found on the surface, no value. The only thing that has a value is the divine consciousness and the union with the spirit. That is the value of life. That is the great value. Look, the truth that is apparent or external, it has no value. What is really value? What adds value to the life? Real true value to the life? That is a value is divine consciousness and union with the spirit. That is what divine consciousness, and the second one is union with the spirit. The true spiritual life begins when one is in communion with the divine. That is what the most important thing mother has got a true spiritual life. Most of the time we claim that we are leading spiritual life, but we don't know psychic being. We are totally unconscious, but we claim our ego out. It is our ignorance. The true spiritual life begins when one is in communion with the divine. That is the psychic. Unless otherwise it is done, very difficult. It is not only we have not started. When psychic is contacted, then only our yoga starts. We don't know what is psychic being. Then how this we are doing this yoga? And not only this one, we are claiming, we feel we are spiritual, leading the spiritual life, and we are on our way, almost touching the supramental level. Very silly. Okay, laughing stuff. So when one is united one with one's psychic being and the conscious of the divine presence, that is what the again and again two things Mother tries to quote. One is united with one's psychic being and conscious of the divine presence. When one gets the impulsion for action from the divine presence, impulsion of action from the divine presence, when one's will has become conscious, become a conscious collaborator with the divine, with these four things, that is the starting point. That is the starting point, not the end of the journey. Number one, somebody is united with one psychic being, that is the number one, first initial. Second, conscious of the divine presence. Third, gets impulsion for action from the divine presence. And finally, one's will has become a conscious collaborator with the divine will. This is the starting point. This is the starting point. But out of these four, out of the four, I think no, nothing more depends upon my thinking. You just imagine where really we stand, where you are, in which level really you stand. Before this, one can be aspirant for a spiritual life. Simply we are aspirants. Simply we are aspirants for spiritual life, but not got the true spiritual life. Normally what we claim. Normally what we claim and how we claim, that is a ridiculous thing. Ridiculous. That's what you have to take care again, and you have to be aware again and again, and you have to go by that way. That is what is told, because most of the time we get confused. We post up that we are doing something because we don't have the idea, we don't know, we don't have the proper knowledge really what really these things are. Still we claim that we have possessed, but truly speaking, we are doing simply our family duty. The life of grihastha, life for the proper getting roti, kapda and makan. We have not got the call for the spiritual life. Maybe call for the spiritual life which comes, or everything depends partially on the yoga one follows or his spiritual necessity. For that actually we must be very clear, crystal clear. There must not be any ambiguity in your choice, in your personality. You will be very clear. The road I am treading must, that is the definitely, that is the chosen road. Suppose you have got the call, or you are surrendered, or you have prayed mother to choose the path. Nothing you have chosen, you have surrendered everything to the divine. If that is there, still then you remember, long way to go. Roads are not that simple that we are thinking of. You have to go across a long way. That is what is requirement. Anyway, it is a steps what your mother has quote. Mother has quoted here, the aim of ordinary life is to carry out one's duty. The aim of, on contrary, the aim of spiritual life is to realize the divine. Thank you for now. We'll see tomorrow.